Welcome, everyone, and thank you for taking the time out of your schedule during Great Lent to be with us. We have people literally from around the country, and I believe we may even have the clergy of the Metropulos of Pittsburgh who are on their retreat. Thank you, Metropolitan Savas, for allowing this to take place. We wanted to take a few moments to share with you the appeal that we're going to be having the third Sunday of Great Lent. As you know, each year we have two major appeals that we put out. The one September 14th, which is primarily for scholarships, and the other one is the third Sunday of Great Lent, Veneration of the Holy Cross, which is the time that we seek your assistance for operations. This is a time when, as we go around the country, we see tremendous clergy and laity doing truly remarkable things in their parishes. And we sort of crack the door open and we say, could we come in there and just say what it is we do at Hellenic College and Holy Cross? I have had the privilege of really serving this community here of Hellenic College Holy Cross now for 4 years as the president. But prior to that, I was able to travel at least 12 times to the Holy Land. And each time I go to the Holy Land, I go into the Holy Sepulchre and I meet there the Phylakes του Τάφου, the guardians of the tomb. And I have to tell you how truly impressed I've always been about them, because there they stand, they rarely smile, frankly, but they're there watching, making sure that the tomb is there for us to visit. The tomb is there alive, and the tomb is there breathing for us to gain wisdom and grace. As I return to the country of the United States and I travel around, I see the other Phylakes του Τάφου. I see you, I see the priest and the layman who are there protecting and persevering and preserving that tomb of Christ here in the Western Hemisphere. I don't say that lightly. I say that with, not even tongue in cheek. I say that with true commitment and belief that without us, without you, without us here at the school, we really don't have. Who's going to be that word? Who is going to be that action in the United States of America? So we are beginning a new program here on the third Sunday of Great Lent, Phylakes του Τιμίου Σταυρού, the guardians of the Holy Cross, meaning you and I. And I'm asking for 500 people to give $1,000. I'm not asking for each priest to do it, if they can. I've already had several priests who have. But those who can't, to actually solicit, to go and ask 1 or 2 or 3 people in your parish to do so. If we all do so, we won't hit the 500, we'll probably hit 1,000. But we'll be very happy to just start with that first 500. I want to give you the opportunity also to ask any questions you have, and that's why you have the ability to do that. I have some folks here in the Dowd Hall with me. I think it's Dowd, this is Dowd, right? This is Dowd Hall, and we're here. Those of you who remember your graduation day, this is where you all line up for your picture. So I'm here now with you. But that's the main reason for my reaching out to you today. I want to encourage you that on the third Sunday of Great Lent, we all get together and we support this school. Now, it's clear that everyone has a different opinion of the school. And really, that's not important right now. What is important is that we support the only college, school of theology, and seminary that we have in the Western Hemisphere. And I know that the ask is an ask on top of all the other asks you get for things from the Archdiocese, from your respective Metropolis. But I don't know, where else can I go? I have to come to you, my brothers. You are the ones who can make this happen. You are the alumni of the school. And with you, I believe we can do great things. We are presently reimagining Hellenic College and Holy Cross. The majors here at our school have not changed in 45 years. I don't want to say whose fault that is. I'm not interested in fault. I'm interested in moving forward. The school has not changed, but the world has. I'm not saying that we need to change our theology. Forget it. We need to change our methodology. And we need to be able to educate our young people in the best way possible. Now, for decades, Board of Trustees, archbishops, bishops, priests, laymen have tried very, very hard. I'm not disparaging anyone. Many, many things have happened with tremendous individuals. But now this time calls for an extra effort. It calls for a new guardian system of the tomb, a new guardian system of the church, in order to lift it up to where it needs to be. And let's talk about the young men who study here for the priesthood. I believe that each one of us has at least one young man in our altar who should be at this school. There should be no one saying to them, go to another school. They should be coming here. This is our school. This is our mother. This is the one who has given us life, and this is the one whom we depend on, the so-called spinal column, the so-called heart of the Archdiocese of America. So we all have to pull together. So aside from giving, if we can find 2 or 3 people in your parish, I think you can, to give $1,000, I'd like you to send us 2 students, one for the college and one for the School of Theology. That's important because at some day, we're not going to be here, and someone has to take our place. Have we worked decades and decades to leave it to chance? Or have we left it to our priestly duty to find our replacements, to find our successors? That's the important part. So I'd like to offer just a moment. If anyone has any questions, you can, you know how to do this. You can ask a question, and I'll try to answer for you.
Hi, Father Christopher. This is Father Anastasios Athanasiou, treasurer of the clergy syndesmos here that is gathering in the Metropolis of Pittsburgh. Yes, and His Eminence, you can see behind me, sorry.
Yes.
He, with his guidance, we are taking on the challenge to not only give, we're going to try to bring that effort of 500, not just to the Archdiocese, but to our Metropolis. And not only in our Metropolis, but also to give from ourselves. And so that first offering that we're going to offer is $5,000 from our clergy syndesmos on behalf of the school.
Thank you, Your Eminence. Thank you, Father.
To do the same.
Thank you, Father. Thank you. You're a great. That's a great influence and a great, hopefully, teaser for others to come forward. But thank you from the bottom of our hearts for doing that. Thank you, Your Eminence. Thank you, Reverend Clergy. Others, other questions you have? Any question you like? We're totally open. We'd rather you hear the truth than hear things that are gossiped about. That's important for us. Questions? Let me speak for a moment about the 2 challenges that face the school and have faced the school for quite some time. The one is finances, and the other is enrollment. And if you go back in the minutes of all the Board of Trustees meetings, you'll see that many, many boards of trustees have opined on this. How do we do this? How do we secure it? And we've taken a huge step this year, and sometimes it's been a painful step, to live within our means. In other words, we don't spend more than we have. That means a trimming of the budget so that we can actually meet the budget. And if we don't, I just want to tell you, there's no place else to borrow. The school has borrowed everything that it can borrow before I came and in my first couple of years here. It's been very difficult to turn the ship, but we have turned it. And I'm happy to say that the administration, the staff, and the faculty of both schools are on board in trying to help us reimagine the school so we can give the best product for the proper amount of money to deliver the best education for our young men and women. But one of the biggest areas you can help us in is admissions. Don't send us just anyone. Send us the best and the brightest you have. People say to me, well, you know, I want to send my child to this school or that school. Fine, but at least have them consider Hellenic College Holy Cross as one. You know now that we have the common application, which we didn't have for years. We did early admissions, early decision this year, which we've never done. And we feel that every young Orthodox Christian should be applying to the school. It doesn't mean the school's for everyone. You know, we have, President and I have 6 children. I prayed all those years for one of them to come to the school, and one did come last year, and the year before last rather, Nicholas, my youngest, who entered the business management or management and leadership program, and he'll finish next year. So every one of us, and you should know that many of our alumni do send their children to the school. We are accredited by the same body that accredits Princeton, Harvard, BU, BC, all the major schools. So there's nothing less valuable in our education. In fact, it's the only place where you can mix faith and learning together. That's a very important thing, because in the other world, faith has no place. And we know that 60% of the young people that go to college never return to their parish unless they get married and have children. So what's wrong with that equation? Something bad. I believe that this school should be teeming with young people. For the College of the School of Theology to present the next army of Christians to go out and help lead the church, to be those new phylakes, to hang on to the faith and push it forward. The young men for the priesthood, but what about the young men and women who don't become priests? They'll learn how to have an Orthodox Christian phronima in their home, teach their children. Remember, the yayas and the papus that taught the first generations are gone. So we have to train the next generation to move up. Otherwise, where are we going? We have to be serious about this. Let's see if there's any more questions.
There's a question?
Yes. Okay.
What types of changes are you proposing? You are absolutely correct that the emphasis and methodologies need to change.
Okay, I don't know if everyone heard that, but let me read it. From Father Chris Famous in Springfield, Massachusetts. What types of changes are you proposing? You're absolutely correct that the emphasis and methodologies need to change. Okay. The first thing we're doing is we have to look at how many students we have enrolled in each of the programs. And then we have to respect that number and work with those students. If we don't have enough students to sustain that and to sustain the proper faculty for it, then we have to retool it. We are now in a study trying to see which majors students are signing on to in different colleges and universities. We are also looking very seriously, we already have signed an agreement to offer online education. There is no reason why the school cannot have a worldwide classroom. We don't have the ability yet to grant degrees that way, but we certainly could do it. We're looking at things, degrees that fit what we're doing, and offering partnerships. For example, Regis College has now partnerships with us. That is a Roman Catholic school in the area, maybe 15, 20 minutes from us. Nursing program, history programs, all kinds of things that really fit with us. So they'll learn the core here of what it means to be an Orthodox Christian, the history, the faith, iconography, theology, and then on top of that, they'll get their degree either from here or elsewhere. The final aspect of what we're going to offer will be revealed in the next couple of weeks when we meet with our accrediting bodies. Other questions?
Will there be materials?
Will there be materials available to us to publish in our bulletins and newsletters about this new endeavor? That's Father somebody there, Father George. I don't know which Father George it is, but yes, definitely. We are going to be loading up on our website very soon, the Guardians of Hellenic College Holy Cross, and you will have a downloadable item that you can put in your bulletin explaining the program. And again, it's $1,000 from 500 individuals, corporations, businesses, your parish. This doesn't stop. The Philoptochos, for example, many of you have a luncheon on the third Sunday of Great Lent. Continue to do that. This is over and above that. If each one of us, I mean, I had the privilege of serving, as I say many times when I travel in the country, suffering for Jesus in Fort Lauderdale under the palm trees. So there's no reason why I couldn't reach out to 5, 6, 10 people in my parish and say, look, my mother, my school needs my help. Can you give us $1,000? That's it. And I know you get asked all over the place. I got that. I understand it. I've lived it as a parish priest. But right now, the school needs our help above all other things. This is extremely important. So it will be there starting March 31st, maybe a few days before. Go to hchc.edu, and you'll be able to get to what you need to promote it. Other questions? Do you believe Hellenic College will survive and continue this current situation? Well, the schools, both schools are fully accredited. I believe it should survive. If I look at the numbers of people, let's look at different faiths, and I've said this around the country, those of you who heard me before, 250 Roman Catholic schools, 39 Episcopal, 9 Islamic, and growing. So should we actually let that go? Should we let go the only Greek Orthodox Christian college we have in the country? I don't think we should. I think the future demands that we have something. What I see right now is a bit of a shuttering down, but not closing, and being more specific and more targeted in offering that which we should offer and using our dollars smarter. That it will happen. So I don't see it closing. I don't think it should close. I think the shuttering is a necessity at this point. Only because, for 20 years, this school has had declining enrollment. Am I the first one to bring it up? We all knew it was happening, but no one's doing anything about it. So Father Chris becomes sort of Father Castor Oil when he says, look, folks, it's time to do something. And now we have to. But in order to grow the school, we need to curtail certain things. Secondarily, we need to do a better job in preparing our priests. The hierarchs have asked me many times, is this person ready? Is that person ready? And I have to tell you that the system is there, but it's almost been as if you go to the doctor and your knee is bothering you, and he works on you. But you also have a heart problem. And then you go to the cardiologist for the heart, and then he says, yes, but you need to go back for your knee surgery, but I have to make sure your heart is working. But the doctor of the heart is not talking to the doctor of the knee. That's what we've been having here. It's this silo effect of he's prepared here, 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 but there's not a connection. And now, through the efforts of our faculty and our Office of Student Life, we are creating the Office of Priestly Formation. The beginning of that will be in 2 weeks, when I will take all of the seminarians on a trip to the St. Methodius Retreat Center for our first retreat dealing with seminarians only. And then you will see very soon a sort of an unveiling of the process that the faculty is now deeply into about looking at the person's academics, their scholastic achievement, who they are as persons, are they men of prayer, and how are they going to deal with people when they leave? Many, many issues, many factors that, as you know, as priests, we encounter throughout our lives. So that effort is happening. So it's not only the college, it's also the Seminary and School of Theology that has to really look at how we're preparing these young men. And to be honest with you, which I always am honest, I hate when I say that, but to be honest with you, our parishes are very different. When I graduated 40 years ago, things were very different. Our parishes were homogeneous. You go out and you spoke to Yaya, you spoke to Papu, you spoke to the family, they were involved in the church. That's not the case anymore. They're there, but the parishes are very diverse. In Fort Lauderdale, where I was, it was 98% inter-Christian marriage. Inter-Christian marriage. How are we going to unpack orthodoxy for this group of people? That's going to be the challenge, and that's what we want to prepare them for here. We're changing the way we do our parish administration class and many other things. So I'll stop there. I hope that answers your question. Other questions? From Father Jerry Hall. I have a concern about how to ask for donors given this crisis if we are asking people to give with the potential of the school to close. Okay, it's a good question. That's a good question. The crisis has come about over time, Father. It's not something that happened just now. It's something that we're facing. We had 20 years of overdrawn budgets here at the school. And this coming year, we will not have that. We're reaching towards operating in the black. So it's not a crisis to prevent the school from closing. It's a crisis, if you will. I use two Ps. Some people panic, some people plan. I prefer to plan and not panic. I know that the school will not close. I know that for a fact. It's not going to close. It's challenged many times. It's even been given at times in the past a notice of its accreditation. Not lost it, but a notice twice before, a couple of years back, 10 years back. So we are operating under a very different circumstance. And I would even hesitate to risk my reputation as a priest to ask you to help if I did not believe in it. If I did not believe in it, I would tell you it's going to close. But that's not the case. The seminary, the School of Theology, definitely. The college, the same. It's challenged right now. And there will be some shuttering, but not shutting. I hope that answers your question. So the crisis should have been dealt with years ago, but we're going to deal with it now. And I need your help to do that. I simply can't do this alone. Another question? I see Father Dimitri Kostarakis is on, the president of our alumni. Pater, thank you for all your support. Thank you for your love. Our prayers go with your dad. I know that Father has been in the hospital, and our prayers are with him. Okay, I have another one. Thank you for making the time for this call. It's very valuable. We all have your back and want to help. Please do this kind of interactive call again. That's from Padre Juan. I don't know who he is, but God bless you, Father. Thank you. Thank you for that support. It's important. We're all in this together, folks. Any other questions?
Father Chris,
Yes.
Would you like to share with the Reverend Fathers who the alumni of the year are going to be recognized this coming graduation?
Sure. You want to do it as president, or you want me to do it?
Come from you.
Okay. I'm really honored to say that two alumni will be honored this year as alumni of the year at graduation. They are Father John Tulumas and Father John Magullas. And they're two, I wish we had an applause button we could hit and you could hear the applause now. On radio, you can do that. I don't think you can do that here. Can you do that, Emmanuel? Can you do an applause button? No? Okay, so again, I can't tell you how honored and humbled I am to sit in this position. I travel around the country. I see you working. I know how hard you work because I've been there. I know the sacrifices of your family. We've been there. So as you go, and I've said it before, as you lift the cross for the veneration of the cross, and you lift it, I want you to feel our arms underneath you. And I want you to feel the strength of your alma mater there with you. Although you've graduated and you've left us and you're in the field, trust me, you're not alone. Every service, we pray for alumni. Every visitation I make, in every single parish I go to, the diptychs that we have of all the deceased alumni are read at the prothesis. That's my commitment to you since I became president. I read them at every single parish. Every one of you is important, every one of you. And everyone should be thanked for the incredible service that you give. I know that because I've been there. Other questions you might have, or other things you want to say? Another person? Is that the same one? I think that's the same one, Kathleen. Applause. Okay. Let me just give you a little bit more, and that is about the chapel. Our chapel has received tremendous blessings. When I arrived here, the Board of Trustees, God bless them, they did a fantastic study called a feasibility study of all of our buildings. And we learned that feasibility study that we have $10 million worth of repairs to do. That's a huge amount of money. And there's nothing in the bank to do those. So what we did, we started to make it known that these things needed to be done. And one gentleman who prefers now to remain anonymous, when we were starting to build the Costa Center here on the front lawn, he gave the bell tower for that. And he said, Father, since the building's not going to go up, I want to give the bell tower on the campus. And I said, well, you can do that, but we really don't need a bell tower. What we need is to either have money come in for the chairs or have money come in to do the repair work. And he said, what repairs do you need? Well, I said, well, the dome has been leaking for 35 years. Could you please fix the dome? Done, he says. And I said, and the flat roofs on the chapel are bad. Can you do those? Done. But he said, I want to do the bell tower. I said, you could do the bell tower as long as you do that. And God bless him, over $600,000, the least amount has been spent on the bell tower, frankly, has been spent there. And then we had Mr. Charles and Connie Kotras, who have given all of the money, is now here at the school in order to do the iconography project within the chapel. And that's a full thing. And that will be donated in honor of Father Nicholas Trandafilo. There are some who feel we shouldn't do that now because the finances are tight and that, you know, it wouldn't look right when we let people go and we're doing that. That would be logical if we didn't have the money for that purpose. You cannot redirect a person's purpose for their money. So we are postponing it just for a little while until that spirit will kind of calm down. But in the meantime, we have done, the bell tower is almost done. It'll be done by graduation. And the dome is done, and the flat roof is done, and all of the icons are planned. In addition, there will be a new lighting system placed in the chapel that will move immediately, as well as a new microphone system so that our students can get to learn how to use those systems properly when they get into their parishes. So that's just a little bit of good news that I'd like to share with you. Other questions you might have? What can we do to help our students and graduates to speed, that is, help them with priestly formation? In what ways are they deficient? That's a good question. I don't know if it's deficiency or it's our inability to be able to see what they're going to encounter. At one point, I remember one student was here at the school. It was about a year or two before I arrived, I think, and the conversation was, well, he'll do great because he'll go out and he'll kiss babies and he'll get to know people. And my response to that, I said, is that what you think we do? I mean, we're not running for office here. We are iristu ipsistu. There's a big difference between political office and a priest. So we have to train them better in a number of ways in dealing with conflict. Their sermons, their priestly demeanor. How do you deal with large donors, small donors? How do you keep a heart of prayer when you're under attack in your parish? How do you keep positive in a world that wants to push, you know, this sort of tsunami of secularism is pushing out the sacred and moving in the spectacular? How do we do that? Those are really the keys. And you can support us by coming here, by speaking positively about the school, not falling into the gossip about the school, and working with us. That's basically what you can do. I hope that answers your question. Other questions? I like it when you can hear their voice. That's pretty neat. In with me is Emmanuel, is Melanie, is Francis, and Kathleen. They're assisting us in this telephone call. So clearly this is something that you want to do, and I'm glad for that. Let's see, here's another question from Father George. What will this bonus, I guess bonus it is, or will this donation of $500,000 accomplish? How far will it go? God willing, we'll raise it quickly. Thank you. Right now, we are looking at a $1.5 million deficit for this year. We are closing that deficit by utilizing $1 million of our current line of credit that we have. We received another $500,000 and another $700,000. We'll probably be short about $200,000 for this year, but I believe we'll meet it, and part of the money you give will help there. The second would be, if we could be successful with 500 and maybe go to 1,000, God willing, that will give us a very strong, we're already prepared to make more cuts where necessary. The faculties have agreed to cross-teach between both schools, so that will help. And we're going to try also with our enrollment to increase it. But it will help secure, if you will, bolster the bottom, so you don't go into the beginning of the year without any funds. The other thing is, if you could think of the school sort of in three buckets, it helps. The first bucket being the hemorrhaging, which we are very quickly bringing to a close. We cannot hemorrhage anymore because we don't have any borrowing. The second is reimagining the school so that we have majors with 10, 20, and 30 students in them, and not just 1 or 2, so that it becomes a drag on the budget of the school. And then the third is looking at the land we have, not selling it, but looking at developing it. And we have a meeting in a couple of weeks with 4 major developers here in the Boston area who do this for a living. We're not going to try it. And we're going to try to come up with some sort of a land lease agreement with these developers, which will give us annual income to the school. So we are land rich and cash poor. And we're thinking of utilizing some of the land that is not currently being used, nor will it be used in maybe the next 10, 20 years. The fourth bucket, which is a new one, is to create the Orthodox Institute of Excellence. That is to fund an institute where we can bring the best and the brightest in Orthodoxy from throughout the world to come to the institution to teach, to translate, to publish books that we need and items we need to serve the next generation of Orthodox Christians. So I want you to realize that the school is burning on all cylinders right now. We are working very, very hard. With these cuts, we have people who've remained here who are working double and triple time. So when you see someone or you interact with them, please be kind to them, be gracious to them, be thankful to them for all that they're doing for the school. I believe clearly that there is a future for the school and that there has to be one, but it's one with all of us involved. Other questions? Oh, that's Padre Juan. Now I know who Padre Juan is. I can see his picture. Hi, Padre. I can see the pictures of some of you on the side. Other questions? I hope you'll also utilize the bookstore for all of your needs. And you know that you can also buy ecclesiastical items there. And you can also purchase your vestments through it. And you can purchase even candles through the bookstore. So again, your support of your alma mater's bookstore is very, very important. If you haven't visited our new website yet, please do so at hchc.edu. And there's a slew of social ministry things that are there as well. Okay? Other questions? Oh, one more. Let's see. How are you holding up? That's a good question, Father. I don't think I've ever been challenged as much in my life. I don't think I've ever seen, I put it this way, to be positive. I am trying to row forward. And I don't accept, nor will I tolerate, anyone in the back of the bus or the back of the boat drilling holes. There's no time for that. We need to move forward, folks. And the only way to do that is to come forward and support our school. When someone attacks our school, we push back. When someone maligns our school, we push back. When someone maligns our faculty, our president, our student, our staff, we push back. We only have one. There are 3,000 colleges and universities in America. 1,200 are faith-based, and we have one. And if we allow that to falter, it will be on us. I hope we never hear the indictment that it was the right faith given to the wrong people. I hope that answers your question, Father. Other questions? I want to thank all of you for being on the call today. Please speak to your brother priests, to your metropolitans. They received the note. They know that we had this call today. And let's pull together as a family and do what's right for our faith as we approach our Lord and Savior's resurrection. I pray you and your family and your entire parish will have a blessed Great Lent. Thank you for your support. Now's the time to really, really step it up. Thank you with your prayers.